looking for a tandem, or? Okay.
And you have a number in mind?
Do have a number in mind, yeah.
What kind of a number do you have in mind?
I was
Probably.
afraid to ask that follow-up question.
That's why I
I was
asked.
afraid anybody would ask that question. It probably would be in the $100,000. They're all set up. The model years right now that are listed range from 2005 up to a 2010 model. 2010 model I'm actually a little leery of, but it's all within the 10-year replacement program of some of the other municipalities that have them already all set up.
When you say setup, what does that include?
Plow package, sander, plow and wing plow, all set up, ready to go.
Okay.
The ones that are currently listed,
All ready to go.
all ready to go. Pending further research, but they are all set up, everything's included.
Pending
Let's put it that
inspection.
way. Yeah, pending inspection and some phone calls probably to the municipalities that own them already, which we've done in the past anyway, and that's always worked out good.
So the municipalities will give you their service record on that particular piece?
So far, all the ones I've met with have been great, and they have, yeah, walked me through everything. And most of those are willing to do it, like I said, the ones that have the 10-year replacement programs are all set up.
They don't have a choice, it's
No.
all there, it's all documented.
That's correct, yeah. And that, whether that truck needs to go out of the fleet or not, it goes within the 10-year.
Right. And that's where this batch of vehicles is coming from.
Yep. Yep, obviously from the years, they're all in the 10-year range. Like I said, minus the 2010 model, so I'm a little leery about that.
Must be a reason.
Yeah.
Lemon law.
Yep.
You know, and,
It's a
you
rich
know,
town, they
that
have a
being
5-year
mentioned, that, you know, these towns are doing these 10-year plans.
Yep.
And as we move forward here, we need to start doing that
That's
ourselves.
the whole goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need a 10-year plan on moving vehicles out of here. We also need a new plan, which you're working on now, in regards to keeping our roads, you know, up.
Yep.
So that the next boards that come along, when they're building their budgets, they're automatically gonna do that, you know, to make sure we don't get behind.
That's correct, it's all gonna be included.
So, and we may not be able to, you know, move into the realm of replacing with a brand-new truck in every 10 years, but if we can get in on some of these auctions, some of these trucks are excellent. And
They
they say
really
the
are.
bigger towns they're moving them out because that's what they do.
That's right, whether the truck, like I said, whether the trucks, most of them don't have to get rid of them, but no
Right.
matter what,
Yeah.
automatically a new one's coming in the door
Yeah.
after 10 years. Some are even less than 10 years, I believe.
It's just gonna take us baby steps to get to that 10-year program.
Baby steps is the good word, Tom, that's the best way to say it, though, it really
Yeah.
is. Unfortunately, right now, we have to start out with used to replace our extremely used.
Yep.
And we do have some extremely used. But the reality is, those vehicles that are extremely used begin to cost us a lot of money just to keep fixing them all the time. And that just doesn't make sense after a while.
Well, that's where we're getting with the one tandem, that's kind of eating us alive
That's the
on
one,
repairs.
yeah, that's one we're looking at to replace.
So
Is there any other
what's the
thing?
market value of that tandem that we would be putting offline? Would we be getting a decent value for it, or are you just
No.
Probably not at this point.
looking
That's
at parts and
unfortunate.
scrap?
Yeah, it would have to be, probably our best bet would be to send it to an auction at that point.
Okay.
I really think so. And a lot of it will be parted out. Rust is taking over big time. Rust is the biggest thing, the rust and corrosion on them. Now, that model, that particular model's a 1999. Bought brand new by the town, but runs all season, runs summer and winter.
Mm-hmm.
So it gets a lot of use, heavy use.
Yeah, those new are like two and a quarter now for that kind of truck.
It is,
Brand new,
yep.
yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely what they're running, fully set up.
Is there any other equipment that you're looking for that you've seen advertised for this auction?
The 10-wheeler's the thing that we're really concentrating on at this point. We may be able to get through summer with what we have, but next winter's one that really concerns me. So the 10-wheeler is what really stands out. That's our priority for replacement at this
not looking at any other equipment we're
Not,
probably gonna have to replace.
not really. I think we can get away, not for this year, no. We should get away with rental for everything else that we gotta get through, but, no, 10-wheeler is the biggest thing.
Well, what do we wanna do? We wanna authorize them to participate in the auction and set a limit, or?
I would, I feel we need to, I really do. I mean, I know the
We've
condition
gotta
of that
replace
truck
this
over
truck.
there, and another winter coming, it's, you know.
Yeah,
But here we come into the same situation as the last time we got into a bidding area where we set a limit and it went just a little bit above and we missed, correct?
Yep, just, yep, 2 of those we did.
By $4,000.
Yeah, not very much.
So, I'm
It is
with
very
you with that,
difficult.
but I don't know whether, I like to set a limit also, I don't wanna have free range.
No,
No,
Yeah, we can't really just say, yeah, go buy a truck.
no.
well, like we said, we
That
know what's
doesn't work.
budgeted anyway, and what we have to get through, what we need left to get through the rest of the year anyway, for the small equipment purchases that we do need, so.
Do you think if we capped it at 100,000, we said, you know, 100,000 was the highest that we're authorizing, that you could
I
work with that?
Yeah, I think so, Al, cause that's the number that I really personally don't wanna go over either. So I think so.
And you've seen similar pieces of equipment in that same price range?
Yep.
When it's all said and done,
Yep, we
going
have,
through?
Yep.
Maybe a little less, maybe a little more?
maybe some are a little, some do run a little bit more.
Is this time of year a good time to be purchasing this equipment?
I think so. I do. First of all, everything's set up. It's gonna show where it had over the winter. They don't really have the time to cover up anything.
To rip it
I
down?
would think so, yeah.
I'm just concerned if they've gone through the entire season, there might be some undue, well, again, they're at the same point.
It is, yeah. At least we'd be able to see it though, too. Like I
Okay.
said, nothing will be messed up in my opinion. If it is, we're gonna have to, like I said, we're gonna have to do the research on them, inspect them, find out a little bit more about them.
How much time do you get to research each one of these pieces? There's gotta be multiple pieces that you're gonna be looking
Yeah,
at.
there is. I guess we have up to the auction date. That's our legwork until that time.
So you have to hope that there's a superintendent that's at the phone.
Yep, yeah, and the last 3 we did have been good. They all worked with us. So, they worked with us great. They were willing to make time.
They must know the phone calls are coming.
I think so. When they advertise them, yeah, they do seem to expect it.
And you think this is a better opportunity than, say, earlier in the year, we talked about some of the used ones that Clark's Truck Center had?
Yep, these have a lot less miles than what those ones at Clark Truck Centers have. If they refurbish them, that's a whole different story up there. They haven't got to that point yet, from the point that we picked up that current new truck from them, but all of those trucks up there did have a lot of miles on them. If they're refurbished properly, that's a good buy too. They're not ready at this point either.
Do you have any idea if they refurbish those trucks, what the ballpark would be on those?
No, he was supposed to get back to me on it from Clark Truck Center, but they didn't give us any. They said they got a couple more coming in. That's about the most information they gave at this point, so. They said they fill us in when,
Probably hard for them to know at this point.
yeah.
I think Hamden and Walton have done pretty good with doing the auctions and
Yeah,
catching the right ones when they come through.
Mhm.
They've, you know, done well with their fleet of trucks, so, you know, I just think it's what the smaller towns have to do, you know.
it is unfortunately. That's definitely our
Unless we
position
wanna
now.
lay out 200,000 or bond for a truck or something, and,
When we're already in that situation with one almost, so.
yeah. You know, so I don't know.
Don't wanna extend too far.
So I would be willing to make a motion that we give, Darren, the authority to bid up to $100,000 on a truck.
I'll second that.
Alright. All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you. If we, like I said, if we continue to go along with it, we'll know by the date of the auction. And if it's not that one, there may be more after that, so.
If it don't work out, we'll just bill it back to you.
Hopefully winter's still a long ways away.
That's
It's
over.
over yet.
It's over,
It's not even
yeah.
over yet.
It's over.
We swept the roads already, you
Yeah.
can't snow again.
No.
Is the new one ready to go
Yeah,
on this road?
Not quite on the road yet.
Okay.
Still waiting for this, certificate of origin.
It's a nice looking rig.
It turned out very well. Drove very well on the way back too, so I think it's gonna work out. Just what we need.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. That's one of the things we've been discussing. We've gotta get our corrective action plan on our highway audit going here.
Right, which you,
Do you think we can have your plan by the next board meeting?
Oh, yeah.
You know, what schedule and, you know, what you're gonna do on what roads?
Yep. We got a good start on that already, so that won't be a
I
problem.
think if we have that by the next meeting, that should give us about another month to get everything together and into the state.
yeah, that should be fine.
Yep.
Alright, we'll plan on that.
And your grader, you said it's coming in May?
May first is, May 4th is the date we have right now, but
Okay.
once again, they're willing to work with us, great company up there, so if we need to put it off another week, it's still ours, 2 weeks, it's still ours. So let's just hope.
No
weather-
penalty.
No penalty.
I would just mention under highway that Bill and I, have a meeting scheduled tomorrow in the afternoon with the highway crew, just to touch base and see how everybody's doing and so on, so looking forward to that.
I like that.
Anything else you wanna bring up there?
No, I guess not.
Okay. Did you wanna bring up the cell phone policy proposal there you have?
Sure, this is the perfect time for that. Did you want me to read the whole thing? Is
I don't know if, we could probably give a copy to your brother so he doesn't have to try to write it all down.
I suppose.
I've got an extra here.
No, I just, I've heard concerns in the last couple months from people about town employees being on cell phones in vehicles, so, we didn't have a policy in place for that. And so I have a proposal for a cell phone use policy for the town of Delhi. I don't know, did I give you your copy yet, Darren?
I do not have a copy, no.
I have plenty of copies.
That's all I can do, mine.
Okay.
Oh,
I wrote on the back of it, but you can read it.
well, you drew too.
And if you want, we can make copies of this and hand it out tomorrow at the meeting, if that,
Yeah, that's gonna be the time to do it, definitely.
I think we just need to cover the town and have something in place so the employees know what they're supposed to be doing, and what they're not supposed to be doing. That looks pretty straightforward to me. Anybody else got any questions on it?
I'd make a motion that we approve this, cell
Cell
phone
phone
use
policy.
policy.
Alright, is there a second?
You both second that?
Bill will second it, alright. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, tomorrow will be a good time to pass that out to everybody.
We'll wait till just before we're leaving the meeting.
Yeah,
We'll hand it out there.
so they throw their phones at you. You just go to the door.
There'll only be one probably that won't like it.
Yeah, everybody's
Mark,
been made aware of it
Is that
already.
something that will be up for renewal each year at the beginning of the year? Or is that a permanent thing?
I think it's more or less gonna be made part of the guidelines and rules for the employment of the highway department guys.
So it would be not something for
No, it's
review
basically
and,
geared
okay.
towards the highway department
Gotcha.
for, you
Well,
know,
right,
while they're
cause there's
driving
no other vehicles,
town- yeah,
right?
it's the only town vehicles we have. I mean, if we do somewhere down the line wind up with a town car or whatever, then, yeah, we'd have to.
Obviously, you'd have to
Do something
extend to
different.
there.
It still apply.
I was just thinking, Nancy's not here next year, that should be on the
I'll still do the,
beginning minutes, you know,
I'll still do the organizational.
yeah, that's the word I was trying to think of, thanks.
Alright, I guess that's it for highway, machinery, health and youth. Who's gonna take Matt's place? Bill?
That's me. Unfortunately, I have nothing to report on currently.
We like you.
And I haven't had it, we haven't had any meetings, so nothing to report.
Alright. Economic development and shared services.
A couple of things, did you wanna say anything, or as far as the O'Connor Foundation, you know,
Grant.
Yeah, the grant application, yeah, the village has asked us to, apply to the O'Connor Foundation for a grant to, put in a volleyball net at the site of the skating rink for the summer,
A sand court.
sand court.
Yeah.
So we've.
And we had discussed that as shared services, at first there was a concern about using that area, but I guess at this point it doesn't sound like it's gonna be an issue. So basically, they just wanted us to say that we're in on it with them and
Yeah, see if we can help them
do that.
pay for it.
The other, oh, well, I don't know.
Why don't we,
Do we need to vote on that?
yeah, why don't you make a motion to
Okay, I'll make,
let me proceed with the grant application on that?
I'll make a motion that, we, authorize, Mark to, continue with the O'Connor application, O'Connor Foundation application for funding of
Blessing.
the volleyball court.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I've got the paperwork, Nancy, that we're gonna have to put a cover letter with and a little more information,
And some financials.
some financial information. I'll get that to you.
The other item is the, support, for the, I have a letter from, this would be going from the town of Delhi back to the mayor and the village board, in regards to our support, continued support of the Delhi Riverwalk project. This is the same letter that we signed last year, and, we need to sign it again. That goes back to, Molly Oliver, who's county planning, so we need to re-sign this, so I'm gonna pass this down. If you're all in favor of signing, I make a motion that we sign this letter and continue our support for the Riverwalk.
Okay,
Second.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
And then I'll pass it down for your signatures. And, we did have a meeting, this last week, Shared Services did, we're working on several different projects right now. We are trying to, we're working, to bring a motel into Delhi, still in its infancy at the moment, but we do have some interested parties, we're working on locations, so that is a continued, discussion. We're planning to have another meeting here very soon, with all those that are involved in that project. We have been working, unfortunately, I can't report anything positive on our Ames Plaza addition. We've been reaching out to several different stores, but we still, don't have anything positive on that end. That's a continued project. So we have been talking also about putting together we may be on the fair on the square on Friday nights, with a small booth that's, set up to basically show everyone what Shared Services has been doing and some of the projects that we have completed and some of the projects that are ongoing, and just to get that information out there so people can see what the village and the town are doing working together. We got a lot of positive feedback recently on our, the ice skating rink this year and all the things that went on up there, and the village has enhanced that greatly. So, you know, things are going quite well. I think the relationship that's been developed now between the village and the town is much better than in the past, and we seem to be on the same page. We are talking also about the possibility of a shared mechanic that's ongoing. We're talking about, you know, the possibility of hiring a mechanic maybe in this next year when we get into the budget or whatever to see about doing that. We're talking with the village about the possibility of them utilizing that as well, so. And they've had that discussion at their board meeting, and, you know, that they have some concerns and so on, but I think it's something we will, you know, probably work out as we move forward, so. And there's other things going on, we're just continuing to find other ways that we can work together and try to incorporate things as much as possible, so. It's
Okay.
a long process.
Yeah. Let's see. Recreation,
A couple of things under recreation, excuse me. I'm going to need to contact, I'm gonna need to contact our gate, fence repair folks. Someone, decided that instead of opening the door to go into the playground, it's easier to rip it off, so. At the moment, one of our gates has been basically destroyed, and it's hanging down there. So I was down there today, and it is gonna need to be repaired. We also need to get our signage up down there. We have a problem that some people feel that that's a place to walk the dog. So we need to get the signs up there that dogs are not allowed inside the park. And we also need to get the new signage up there of where to call when there's issues and so on with that park. I talked with, DCAN, the group of young people. They are willing to do some work for us down there as far as raking mulch. We're gonna need to look into some new mulch for this year. And if we get it down there, they will be willing to come down and rake it and spread it and clean things up down there for us. So if you don't mind, I'll continue to work with that group. We are gonna have to see about the mulch, and I forget where we got the mulch last time. Do you remember? No?
Me?
No, I was,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't, you know.
I'll find out. I can talk to Dave about that too.
What's the name of the group?
DCAN? Is that how it's?
DC can.
DC can.
Delaware County Community Action Network.
What type of mulch are you using down there, Hal?
It's a special mulch that, it's, what do I wanna call it, it's for playgrounds, but I can't remember what. It's the same, we get it from the same place that the village got it from. Dave Curley gave me the name of where to get it, but, and it has to be, clean, obviously.
Clean fungicides and
Yeah,
all this
it's,
treated.
we spend about $2,500 to $3,000 to get the mulch. So, what I'm going to do first though, because, when the Bishop family gave us that new piece of equipment last year, they also had that, all remulched at the time. So I think it might be okay for this year if the group goes down and rakes it and, you know, levels it out.
Fluffs it up.
Yeah, it might be okay, but I just wanted you to be aware that we may have to purchase more. There is a rules, guidelines, how deep it has to be and so on and so forth, so.
okay,
Okay?
sounds good.
Oh, I would also report under that, we should be letting the bids, right now, the plan is in May, the bids will be going out for the pool, and they'll be due back here on June 9th at our board meeting, for a bid opening. The bids will not be awarded that night due to the fact that we have guidelines that we have to follow, so those bids will come in on that night. They will go to the architect. He will determine who he feels is the best organization to build the pool, and from there, they have to go to the New York State Parks and Rec for their approval on who he approves to be the one to build the pool. So hopefully that process won't take very long.
So we'll be swimming in December?
We may be swimming in December, so wear your wetsuit, but, no, actually, the pool itself doesn't take that long to build. Scott Clark is sitting on the sidelines, waiting, so everybody's, ready to roll, but we are finally reached that point of where we hope to see some numbers, finally.
Personnel?
I got nothing for personnel. Under building, we've done all the repairs that our insurance carrier asked us to do. Look, locking down the television, new smokes in the entire building, new lighting in the assessor's office and in the copy room, some new exit lights and new emergency lights. So we finished off the checklist that our carrier asked us to do.
I think that's it for all the properties.
So all across the street, they were in compliance last month.
Yeah.
So, do you have that sheet that I gave you that you could give back to me?
I have it in my briefcase, yes.
Okay, and then I'll just, fill it out on this good one,
Mhm.
and get this back to them, okay?
Yep.
Alright, good.
Sounds good.
I just have to put a few more ceiling panels in there, but. This
Alrighty.
week,
Sounds good.
next week. Next week's shot.
I guess we have no IT committee report. So we'll skip on. Next up, code enforcement monthly report. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Second?
all in favor?
Aye.
Just under codes, that you guys met, right, your
We
committee
met last Thursday.
and did you clear up some of those issues that were there?
We're working on the last two, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody had a chance to look at the justice court report?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Is that report somewhere, do I?
It went that way.
I went that way, it's down here somewhere, we'll pass it back down there.
We do. Can I give this to you?
Okay, next up, clerk's monthly report.
I mailed out 271 late notices for taxes, and as of today, we've received 73% of taxes have been paid, which I looked back at last year and we're at the same spot, so that's good,
And how many
I
did you
guess.
send out, 200?
271 late notices.
Is there a motion to approve Nancy's report?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Who's gonna second?
No, I'm sorry, I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye. Out of that number, how many ended up going to foreclosure? Do you have any idea?
Oh, I don't know, because that's all handled
I don't
over in the
count.
treasurer's office, so. Because
Not-
they,
Not many. Surprisingly.
I mean, we do get the list posted when something's going for foreclosure, and very rarely are they dealt by on there, so I'd say no.
Okay, good.
Okay, supervisor's report, got two of them, we got February and March both here. Any questions? Since we got Maggie here, we can grill her tonight.
It's nice to be all caught up again.
Yeah, we're all up to date.
Year end kinda messes you up a little.
You got two?
I got the one.
Yeah, I got
Which
March.
one you got? You got March?
I got March.
Well, you had February the day after your last meeting, I think.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
oh, then I probably.
So you've probably,
Yeah.
You probably filed it way.
I think it was the very next day that it actually got done. I couldn't quite get it done that night.
Yeah,
We were waiting on a couple bank statements or
Something.
something, wasn't it?
But the next day, I think it was in the boxes.
Is there a motion to approve the February supervisor's report?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the March supervisor's report?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.